Average speed now 40.967 kilometers an hour. So we're going to have 3 riders at the front if Beckham Drake can get there. It looks like he will get there. And in that actual peloton, 81 riders now. There's a little group just behind, but predominantly we've lost 17 riders on that lap. There's maybe a couple of riders who might get themselves back in. At the front of the peloton that time as things were getting stretched. Zeno Winter, Sebastian... Oh, that was fast through there, wasn't it? Sebastian Castro, Brad on the right, Kevin Estupinan, Tove Beek, Hubert Lamoth, Jakob Zanka, Giacomo Rosato were the riders at the front of the peloton. 34 seconds is the gap. Beckham Drake is almost at the front now. More attacks go on the other side of the road as there was a chat going on between the American and the French rider. 3 more riders trying to go clear. Well, yesterday the UCI announced lots of dates. Of course, the now big World Championships will take place in 2027 in Haute-Savoie. That will be the Mega Worlds like we had in Glasgow, and yesterday the next World Championships of the same style were awarded to Trentino in Italy in 2031. Here's our 2 leaders. Beckham Drake is only 10 seconds behind. You might be wondering why they're not waiting for him. Well, they don't have race radios, so they won't even know he's there. And they're only now 33 seconds ahead of the peloton, so they don't want to wait too much. Otherwise, they're coming back. Here he is, he's almost there now. This has been a fantastic job. Beckham Drake, what a time trialist this guy is. That's a great move by Beckham Drake to get himself across, and he joins the front. This will add some more firepower. He goes immediately to the front of the group, and he wants to keep the momentum going for the American squads. Beckham Drake, 4th in the individual time trial the other day. Just finished 5th in the Tour de l'Abitibi. He was 2nd in the individual time trial there. He's ridden a few gravel races this season as well. He was 8th in the Unbound Gravel, the 100-mile edition. He's a strong bike rider, Beckham Drake. He really is. most of his year in America at the start until he went after that to just ride a couple of other races. He rode the Nations Cup in May, and he finished 8th overall in the stage race there. So he's had some good experience. He rides for Team California. Beckham Drake having a good day. A counter-attack coming now from Poland. Sorry, not a Polish rider on the attack now. Counter-attack coming. Trying to come across. Nicholas van der Merwe. He looks good. Comes from Bulgaria, Nicholas van der Merwe. She's starting to see the way that this race is going. It's evolving forward all the time. Van der Merwe for the Under-19 Academy of the Region Sud, powered by Giant. 18 years of age. It's into time trial mode now. Finished 13th in the time trial the other day. He's the Bulgarian road race champion. Trying to get across then. Beckham Drake pushing the pace, having got into the front. He wants to use his time trialling ability to pull this gap out again. I'm wondering whether this race gives us that pattern that things go forward now in the race rather than we've seen that attritional sort of riders just going out the back. But it could be that you just end up with stronger riders going up the road all the time. Three riders working well together, sharing the pace, making very well indeed. Van der Merwe get there and make it 4 strong riders at the head of this Junior World Championship. Junior riders no longer on restricted gears. Used to have to restrict the gears considerably, so you'd end up with a situation where they're just spinning out all the time because of the strength of them now. But because now they're on non-restricted gears, that's why you can really see. Whoops. Fugger there just saying sorry to the camera bike, throwing some rubbish across the road. I'm not sure it was a waste zone, but there we go. Shouldn't have been doing that anyway. Heading now onto the climb of Kigali Golf. Beckham Drake has got really powerful pedaling style, hasn't he, the American? See the way he rides. It's very effective. Combining well, just sharing the pacemaking. They do this for new fans of the sport. You go through to the front, you do your little bit of pacemaking, you swing across, you let the next rider come through. That way the riders behind are able to get a little bit of a rest. Let their heart rate just drop a little bit, just kind of a micro drop, but it does mean that they're not using as much power, as much energy. So go on to the climb now for the next time. There are conversations going on. The Swiss rider just checking across at Beckham Drake. Shirt and lead. See how considerably, how quickly they slow down on these particular gradients. Another rider trying to come across. I don't know where Van der Merwe was only 9 seconds behind. Now we get attack from the French squads. So the French rider trying to go across, Johan Blanc. The motorbike is scraping its foot pegs. Such is the speed in which they're going through the corners. Now here's the Bulgarian. He's nearly on the group. Four leaders, 81.7 kilometers to go. Last metre or so for Van der Merwe's hard. Johan Blanc. Saddle, trying to get across. The Frenchman. He rides for the Groupama FDJ Continental team. 18 years of age. Just trying to pedal his way up to the leaders again. I'm not so sure he's got the same momentum as Drake and Van der Merwe had to get across to the original two leaders. Johan Blanc, though, a useful bike rider. Just won a couple of stages in Giro del Lunigiana. It's a race that Remco Evenepoel and Tadej Pogacar have both won in their careers. He finished 13th overall in the classification. He was 5th in Grand Prix Plouay, the Frenchman. Van der Merwe just trying to get a little bit of a rest before he starts to contribute to the pacemaking. That's what generally happens when riders go across to the break. We saw Drake do something different. He went straight to the front, but generally the riders will come across and they'll just say to the rider, just give me a moment, I'll just get myself composed and then I'll start to work. So Johan Blanc now going forward. Two more riders trying to come across. There's a German rider in that chasing group at the front. Well, the race is an interesting pattern, isn't it? Really has. We've seen two riders go away, one rider come across, another rider join. Now we've got another rider on his own trying to come across, another two riders behind. One of them is the Canadian Moran, Ben Moran of Canada. And then the peloton is now at 49 seconds. So we're just seeing strong riders go across. Zeno Winter of Germany, who is the other rider in that chasing group. So right now, Drake, Schertenlieb, Fugger, Van der Merwe are the riders at the front. Blanc trying to go across. Two chasers, Moran and Zeno Winter. And that's the situation out on the road so far. Blanc has had a number of victories this season, the Frenchman. Peloton now at 51 seconds. It'll be interesting to see which team is on the front and which team is chasing. Well, it is Belgium. No surprises there. One of the strongest squads who started things kicking off, but actually have ended up missing this group of riders. Laurent Blanc looks like he might get some company. We'll see whether these three riders can combine and work their way across to the front. And the pits are incredibly busy. A lot of riders are out of this race. Comoros, represented here by Medine, is out of the race, unfortunately. He's abandoned.
Well, it looks like we have one rider down here. It is the number of few riders down here.
Well, they've had the experience of starting the World Championships, and over time they'll get stronger. They just need the training, they need the experience, and they need the racing. So recently, the riders who've abandoned the race: Yakubu of Niger, Sumana of Niger, Burkina Faso's Ungarua, Jordan's Hajir, and Teal of Namibia, all out of the race. Onto the climb, the cobbles this time. We're making short work of this course, aren't we? Let's see whether we get any accelerations from the peloton now. Just over 40 kilometers of racing being covered. See the work rate of these riders. Oh, and now there's a counter-attack in this front group of riders. Our original attacker has cracked. Timo Fugger just can't stay with the momentum that's being set by the front group of riders. That's a shame for him. He was the rider who animated this race. He might get a second win, though, with his three riders coming across. So these three riders on the climb. This is the cobble climb, not Kigali Golf. This is Kimihurura. And it's the rider from Canada, Moran, there in the red and white at the front. Ben Moran, 18 years of age. Shirton-Lieb has also dropped, so the original two attackers are in trouble on the cobbles. Ben Moran finished third in the Wardsley Junior Challenge this year in the Netherlands. Won a race in Genk in Belgium. He's had a good season. He's a strong bike rider. Ridden the Nations Cups as well for Canada. As we see now, we end up with two leaders at the front, and they're the two riders who came across. So our two leaders are now Drake and Van der Merwe, heading their way towards the completion of another lap and keeping this tempo as high as possible. Here's our two leaders coming to the top of the climb then. It's Beckham, Drake and Van der Merwe in the red and white and green of Bulgaria. They go over the top. Heading to that 1 kilometre to go point. And now they'll work their way downhill and head towards the completion of this lap, and we'll see is the average speed being maintained. It started off very, very fast, 41.882 kilometers an hour on that first lap of racing. I think Fugger might get a little bit of a second opportunity here as these three riders drive their way across. On the front, Zeno Winter of Germany, Blanc is there, and Moran of Canada. There's the peloton. One rider trying to come across from Spain. But the peloton now at 54 seconds at this point in the race. They don't seem too concerned, but there are teams now with some of the stronger teams who've got riders up the road. The USA, Canada, not worried anymore. France also won't chase because Blanc could get across to the front. So suddenly you cancel out a number of nations. It means that the onus starts to go on the likes of Poland, Belgium and other squads. The completion of another lap. Coming up to complete lap number 3. 5 laps of racing to go. Drake and Van der Merwe are our leaders. Average speed 40.924. Still fast. Schurtenlieb looks around, decides that maybe he'll wait. Hopefully he can get himself in that group of riders, of which there are now 4, and go back across to the leaders potentially. Gap to Schurtenlieb is going to be 30, maybe 35, 36 seconds. He goes across at 38 seconds actually. And here's our quartet chasing. Blanc, Winter, Moran and Fugger. The gap to them is now 53 seconds. Here's the peloton. So 7 riders in effect off the front of this race. Another rider coming across. This is the Spanish rider who has got himself in the gap. This is Ucaregui. He's at 108. This peloton is letting this gap go out. Uganda represented right up at the front. Great news for Uganda. Eritrea still represented in here as well. Come through, and the gap is going to be significant. 1:37. That is a significant margin now. Up at the front of the peloton that time, Harry Hudson of Great Britain, Benedict Benz of Germany, Salah Hamzou of Algeria, Braden Wrights of USA, Josh Johnson still there for South Africa, Elias Wandel, Tristan Hardy of Mauritius, Paul Miro of Uganda riding strongly up at the front. Eritrea represented by Noam Ephraim. Mauritius have a couple of riders up towards the front of that peloton. There's now 83 riders. Stabilised as far as the riders are concerned. 7 off the front. 76 riders in the peloton. Spanish rider's going to get across. Correctly. He had a gap of 15 seconds to this group of riders when they went across the finish line, and he's already getting himself up to the group. He's going to have a little bit more firepower there, so we're going to end up with a chasing group that contains Shirtley, Blanc, Winter, Fuga, Moran, and Correctly. Spanish rider makes his way, gets to the junction. Of age, just won a stage of the Vuelta a Pamplona and finished 10th overall. Predominantly a race which the Spanish riders were riding for. He's also had some good results. He rode a race in June, which was the Itzulia Junior race, and he won every single stage. Rode away with every single day of that race. That's not bad, is it? And that race is 4 stages, so he won every stage, the individual time trial, 3 road stages, and the general classification. He was on a rich train of form then, because before that he won the race in Vitoria-Gasteiz, and then he also won Kowa as well. So he's a rider who's had some fantastic results. For a team called GT Tolosa, team that's based in Spain. These are 2 leaders again. Heading towards then the Kigali Gulf. We're going to reach the bottom of that with 67.1 kilometres to go on this lap. Riders really do need to get themselves organised. This shot is fantastic because it gives you a real sense now of how much this road rears up. Riders are really now putting this peloton under a little bit of pressure. 135, they're holding this advantage, and you can see that they have real momentum at the front of this race, these two. If you've just joined us now, they rode across to 2 leaders. They did it individually. The first to get there was Drake, and Van der Merwe was the second to get there. Once they got to that group of riders at the front, they got rid of them on the cobbles, and they just rode away. The original 2 riders in the breakaway are in this group chasing. Fuga there on the right, wearing number 30, and the Swiss rider, Shirtley, they just couldn't stay. They had looked very, very good in the race before they were caught, and then things went a little bit awry for them. The chasing group of riders has kind of come together, but they don't seem to have the momentum to get across to these leaders yet. Zeno Winter, Johan Blanc, Corregui, and Ben Moran. But they're not really closing this gap, and the peloton is only 20 seconds behind them, and you get the sense that potentially, as the Shimano neutral service car goes past, that really these riders might see their lead evaporate, and then we'll end up with 2 leaders with a massive gap back to the peloton at maybe 1.5 minutes or so. to Kigali Golf, with the golf course on the right-hand side, and the riders can look down on, and the massive houses on the left-hand side. Mount Kigali looks out over this particular area, one of the capital's highest natural points, with the panoramic views. Over the weekend we're going to see much more of the sights of this particular area, I'm sure. But as the riders ride through the golf course now, 65 hectares, it really encompasses the land of 1,000 hills, of which Rwanda is known. And the golf course itself, 6,500 metres long with 18 holes. And it's literally just outside the centre, so you suddenly go into this oasis of peace outside a bustling city centre. So our chasing group still keeping things together. We've got to keep the faith that they can get themselves to the front, but 114 is just hovering. Ultimately, you wonder what their hope is going to be. These two leaders have been away for a long time now. You don't see any sort of sense that the two leaders are losing interest, losing momentum. They seem to have really good legs today, as more riders are out of the race. Tunisia and Turkey and Mexico. It's been a tough race. And we're not even halfway through yet. After this lap, we get 4 laps to go. We'll be at the midway point. Thanks very much for joining me. If you'd like to be in touch, at @McCrossan. One of the American riders is out of the race here. Is Adamski. Abandons the race for the USA. To Kigali Golf again. Talked a little while ago about Vicentini, who was the first ever winner of this race in 1975. Since then, Greg LeMond also took the title in 1979. LeMond ultimately winning the Professional Road Race Championship, which for many years we had a professional race and an amateur race as well. Greg LeMond taking that victory. What a first was noticed, I guess, in the 1982 World Road Race Championships, won by Giuseppe Cerrone in the pro ranks, held in Great Britain in Goodwood. LeMond attacking on the final climb to try and see an American flag cheering on Beck and Drake. LeMond attacking try and go across to the leader. There was a lot of discussion that day because Jock Boyer was one of the riders he attacked, and that was his teammate. Boyer now very involved in African cycling. Other riders who've won this junior championship, to give you an idea of names and how important this championship is and has become. Damiano Cunego, the Little Prince, the winner of the Giro d'Italia, won it in 1999. This looks to me like Max Gould. Golan rider is out. Oh, there's so many riders who are just coming in. One of the UAE riders comes into the pits. Lucia's rider there, Alphonse, Denver Alphonse. peloton's now at 2:15. This is substantial. Max Gould at 1:20. In fact, he's now with the chasers, so he's got momentum, Max Gould. Is this peloton giving this lead group way too much time? Junior World Championships gear for Group 211. So taking some risks with 64k to go. And they're not riding, are they, as though they're just maintaining the lead. They're riding as though they don't believe they're going to come back. Then won in 1999, the winner of the Giro d'Italia and so many other bike races. Roman Kreuziger was the winner in 2004. He had a fantastic career. Kreuziger now one of the sports directors in one of the cars. Kreuziger 2004. Jasper Stuyven, winner in 2009. Stuyven moving from the Lidl Trek team at the end of the season to move on to Masters New. Moritz was the winner in 2012. The commentated on that victory of Matty Moritz that day. Moritz went on, of course, to so much in his career. Not sure where he's going to be next season. He's kind of talking as though he wants to still be a Bahrain victorious, but sure whether that deal is being done or not. Here's the peloton. Belgium are going to have to start to chase soon. And they're going to have to start to chase pretty hard. So the Dutch, there's no sight of them other than being sitting quite a long way down the peloton. When do they really start to chase, and are they that controlled? Problem here. This is Van der Merwe. Oh, not good news. That's going to take the momentum out of this front group. Oh, what happened? Nicolas Van der Merwe is now out of the front group, and that's really not good news. Does Beckham Drake wait for him? What does he do? He was at a standstill for a while. Terrible news for the breakaway, terrible news for Van der Merwe. Let's see what happened. And he had a problem with his gears, comes to a standstill. Just to right it pretty quickly. Chain came off the front ring. It looks like Beckham Drake has done the right thing and has steadied up a little bit. And they'll need to get themselves together, because two riders with 62k to go is much better news. Beckham Drake just pedalling steadily now. Looks around, checks over his shoulder, doing the right thing. Beckham Drake very, very aware of what is going on. This is our chasing group of riders. Mathieu van der Poel was the winner of this race in 2013. And also Felix Gall was the winner 2 years later in 2015. We all remember Quick Simmons attacking on his own in 2019 to race away in Harrogate. And another rider who's won it more recently as well, Remco Evenepoel. He was the winner in 2018. That was the first time where we saw the real sight of Remco Evenepoel and the possibility he's going to be one of the best bike riders in the world. Closed the gap of, I remember being 2.5 minutes or something to the leaders, and then just went through and rode away in the style we now know of Remco. Drake has done exactly the right thing, a good decision. He lets Van der Merwe come back to him. And now the peloton has suddenly closed in very, very quickly on the chase. So this race is evolving very rapidly now. Beckham Drake, Nicholas Van der Merwe at the front of the race. The peloton has got itself organised, and now Italy are starting to show with the Netherlands that they need to bring this back. They catch the chasers, and now the momentum is all about catching the leaders. Italy have really started to fire now. Italy, the Netherlands, all of the front, Germany, Switzerland, Spain are represented as well up towards the front of this group. But suddenly that gap of what was over 2 minutes with the loss of Van der Merwe for a little while means that the gap is down to 1:18 already. These two leaders still need to up the pace a little bit more. A little chat and conversation between them that time as they went through and shared the pacemaking. It's notable which nations are represented here at the front and which aren't. Gould is still up there for Australia. Another Australian rider just a little bit further back. Belgium represented, Sweden as well. And there's a lot of riders in trouble now. Barry is up there for the United States of America, and a big attack here from Great Britain at the front. As we complete a lap, the next lap, we're coming up to the midway point in this race. This time we'll have 4 laps of racing to go. Barry suffering a little bit over the top of that rise that time. He was looking good. Johnson is up there for South Africa still. Coming up to 1.5 hours of racing. Drake and Van der Merwe, 4 laps of racing to go. The average speed still 40.8 kilometers an hour. Here's the peloton, which is split to pieces. Riders desperately trying to get themselves back into the string of riders. One of them is Enzo Hincapie. It looks like with the midway point, this peloton is suddenly going to diminish in numbers massively. Last time was 83 riders in the front. France start to up the pace. It's a bit of a battle of survival right now. Josh Johnson is there looking comfortable towards the back. Eritrea still represented in here with Naom Ephraim. He's doing a fantastic job. So a bit of a stretch of the pace as the riders make their way across, but last time the gap was well over 2 minutes. This time it's going to be 1 minute and 11 seconds, led by Zino Winter, the German rider. nephew Peace of Great Britain, Roberto Capello of Italy, Van Dijkman of the Netherlands, Harry Hudson of Great Britain, Tom Sterneman of Switzerland, Edward Klasser of Belgium, Jan Jakovic of Poland, Théophile Vassal of France. Benjamin Noval is now up there for Spain. He's starting to show towards the front. Stretches the pace. Zeno Winter goes through. The Italian rider Capello is always at the front now. Admire the way these riders have taken this race on today. They raced across to the leaders. They've been animated. They've had their trials and tribulations, but they're still there.
You can buy a drink, a meal, or a souvenir.
This is the Junior World Road Race Championship. It's quite a dynamic race so far, and a lot is going on in the chase behind. Now start to increase their advantage again. I'm not so sure. It's 106. The gap is dropping. Fans are at the side of the roads ready to cheer these riders every stretch of the way. It's interesting watching the social media of some riders and what people are saying about being here in Rwanda, and everyone being, not everyone, but a lot of people, riders being sceptical about coming here. Actually what their experience has been of being here in Rwanda, how different it's been to what they anticipated. I think the one thing that sticks with you about being here in Rwanda is the welcoming of the people, and how, I think I said it yesterday and I'll say it again, how they smile all the time. Smile at you before you smile at them, and how welcoming they are when you go try and find dinner or coffee or whatever it might be. And this, the dancing and the drumming and the singing is just something that is part of life. I've seen posts in the last few days from and Kasia, Nibiadoma and others who are just really realising what this country has. Yes, you have to deal with the hustle and bustle of the roads, and that's quite difficult for the riders to get out of the city and train, but once you're out, for them it is they're discovering these mountains, these areas, and being able to train in some different landscapes. This morning I was sitting at breakfast with few people, including Katarina Nash, who one of the best bike riders on mountain bike and cyclocross of her generation. They were going out for a gravel ride, which they were excited about, a few of them, because I'm sure the gravel racing around here must be incredible. Gravel riding must be just special. More attacks at the front of the peloton. Thank you very much for joining me. I'm Anton McCrossan. If you'd like to get in touch, @Anton McCrossan on social media. This race is now past its midway point, heading to the climb again of Kigali Golf. We're just about to hit the bottom of that in a couple of kilometres. There's a lot of riders losing time in this race, having been dropped. I just saw Bergeron of Canada just go across the finish line with a group of riders, including the Slovenian rider tucked in there as well. Time. The main peloton comprised 42 riders. Group of riders behind him may well get themselves back into the peloton, but predominantly that acceleration, that lap, kind of split the peloton nearly in half. Such was the acceleration, the attacks that happened on that lap. So we've gone from 98 riders in the peloton at the end of lap number 8 to 81 to 83. A couple of riders came back. So when we went across the line, the main bulk of the peloton was 44 riders. It's amazing how this race is just going out the back. It's just attrition. By Italy. I'm hearing the names of riders being dropped. This is Beck and Drake. Through the gels in the back pocket, bit by bit. These two riders still believe that there's a medal opportunity up for grabs here for them. Now Italy start to move. Spain represented. Italy just trying to go across. Another counter-attack from behind, including Germans getting in the mix. Yet again, Spain are represented. They are really dynamic today. Spanish team's hopes will be on Benjamin Naval for sure, but they've got some very strong bike riders in here. Well from that problem he had. So the Italian rider at the front is trying to bring this group across now. There is this counter-attack starting to form. Spain are represented. It's Agostinacchio of Italy who started this little acceleration. Germany represented. Spain putting 2 riders into this group. group of riders now on the move. Benjamin Noval is in here. Stowe is in here for Costa Rica. Agustinaccio at the front. Two Spanish riders are in here. Cubillas and Noval. And also in this group of riders is Zeno Winter. They're working well together. This is a very, very strong group of bike riders. Agustinaccio, Trofeo San Rocco in Italy. He's a strong rider indeed. He's had some great results. He won the points classification in Morbihan. He won a stage there as well. He was second in the points classification at the Nations Cup in Czechia. And he's won Grand Prix Liberazione Cinta Massa and Grand Premio Cantu as well. Only 33 seconds for Benjamin Drake. They're starting to feel the pace a little bit, I'm sure. They'll start to feel the heat, which is accelerating all the time. They'll feel the altitude for sure. You can see the sweat on the back of the neck of Benjamin Drake. Now this is a good group because Belgium are represented now and Great Britain are represented in this group. So that means that the bigger teams is Van Kerkhove as well, so if he combines, then that's good news for Belgium. Matthew Pearce of Great Britain is in here as well. He's the rider on the right-hand side of the road. So it's Agustinaccio, number 11, Zeno Winter. Also in the group, Cubillas, Benjamin Noval. In the group as well is the Costa Rican Castro, and the two riders who've just joined, Van Kerkhove and Mendelssohn, the time trial, and also Matthew Pearce. So that group of riders have accelerated their way across now, and they need to think about going all the way across to the leaders. They're heading now towards the bottom of the climb. The bottom with about 47.7 kilometres to go, so we've got about 2 and a bit kilometres to reach the base of the cobble climb, and I wonder then whether this group of riders will really accelerate to try and put themselves into the lead firmly and start to grow an advantage over the peloton behind. Useful riders in that chase group, isn't there? Noval, 16 years of age and already signed with Ineos Grenadiers. He's the rider that everybody has wanted. So far this season, Benjamin Noval has just won everything. It's been incredible. Santiago, he won the Challenge Comarcas, he won the race Trofeo Vincenzi Lopez, he won the general classification in the Nations Cup in Barron in Pivia del Grappa, he won Volta Ciclista Besaya, he won the Spanish Junior time trial and the road race. As our next rider drops, this is Goldstein. Only 16 years of age, just the hottest property in junior cycling. Agustinaccio at the front. peloton is only 3 seconds behind right now. Riders is really starting to increase the tempo now as we make our way onto the cobbles. So this time round we'll have 3 laps of racing to go. Beckham Drake on the front. He has been the animator of this breakaway today. Since he got to the front, he went straight to the front. He was the rider who accelerated and took Van der Merwe with him. Wonder how long the legs are going to hold out. The peloton has gone back to 55 seconds. He's been the driving force. He's been the rider who believes that this is the breakaway that can win this Junior World Championship. Now the Spanish team are a little bit in the ascendancy, but Belgium are also there with Sef van Kerkhove on the right-hand side, a medalist already in the time trial. He's been strong. Looks like the German rider Zino Winter doesn't have the legs as he is distanced on this climb. Costa Rican rider, great performance by him today as he just holds on to the back in that red and white jersey. Gradient. The British rider Peace is making everybody's legs hurt now. It's looked good throughout the last couple of laps. Matthew Peace. He's had a great number of results this year as well. He won a race in Cantabria in Spain. Service, Shimano neutral service car goes through and goes up the road. Premio Albarco, also Matthew Peace won. He was the winner of the Memorial Kelly Campos. He's trying to drive this one on a little bit. Tobias dropping in for Spain. Benjamin Noval goes through to the front. It's incredible to think this rider's 16 years of age. Of Costa Rica, right on the back of the group. Let's see whether these chasers can now get to the front. There they are. They can see our two leaders who've been on their own for a long time today. Can they get themselves across? Then the question will be, can Van der Merwe and Drake hold on to the momentum of this chasing group? It's always difficult, but how they do. Sebastian Castro on the back for Costa Rica. He won a race in Italy recently. Grand Prix Cerreto Guidi. There's the peloton, or what we would call what's left of the peloton in the background, trying to come across, led by number of different riders. Looks like there's a lot of acceleration from behind. Could be Belgium actually, who are trying to bring riders up. In fact, Poland, it's the Polish team who really now need to start to accelerate, and suddenly there are riders jumping on cross, trying to get into the slipstream of riders, realizing that maybe the race has gone forward and this is the moment. To be in this move today, they want to get involved. Jakowiak of Poland, the rider we talked about right at the start. He's had a bit of sickness this week, but he's feeling better. 17 years of age, rides for the feeder team of Bahrain Victorious. You can tell that with that white and blue helmet that he's wearing. So we come up to complete a lap, and this time we'll have 3 laps of racing to decide the junior world champion. Last time we had 44 riders in a peloton. This time we're just going to have groups of riders dotted all over the hillsides. Complete another lap now. This time 3 laps of racing to go. Drake and Van der Merwe realise they're about to get some fast moving company. The Polish rider is also jumping across to the chase. We're going to end up with a front group of riders, and I think the strongest riders survive. The average speed drops by 0.17 of a kilometre an hour, so not significantly. Really fired the whole way through this race. Italy trying to get on terms. Eritrea still represented in this race by MWIREBERE. What a ride he's doing. The peloton come through and they're not that far behind. Only 30 seconds now. This race is significantly shrinking. So maybe the peloton have done the right thing in just conserving energy and waiting for the right time. There are still 44 riders in contention. Through the feed. Drops a bottle, a Canadian. That's not good news. I do wonder about soigneurs standing in the pits when they see a rider from a nation drop a bottle and they don't just have them. It's something that we've talked about a lot in commentary about, in particular in Grand Tours links, where you just see soigneurs refuse to give a rider a bottle. I don't understand it, I never have done. To use nutrition as a tactical advantage when a rider is in the heat like this, I just think is not the right thing. Slow motion shots. The peloton that time across the climb was led by Roberto Capello again of Italy, Karl Herzog of Germany, now Ephraim of Eritrea. What a ride he's doing today. He really is looking great for the African nations. Mats van den Einde of Belgium, Tom Sterneman of Switzerland, Calderon of Colombia is still there, Harry Hudson of Great Britain, South Africa's Josh Johnson, he's doing a wonderful ride today as well. Ashton Barry is still up there for the USA. So the 2 leaders nearly caught, but not quite. A big group of riders now behind them, having merged. It's Beckham Drake again, checks over his shoulder, and it's the Polish rider that we've been talking about, who jumps away to try and put himself in the front group. Kuwa was 7th in the individual time trial. With that little bit of sickness going now, he's clearly starting to feel so much better. If you've just joined us now and you want to follow us now for the next 3 laps of racing, thank you for being alongside us for this World Championship. The race situation is evolving right now as we make our way into the real finale of this race. And it's Beckham Drake and Van der Merwe, who we've talked about all day today, who are there in the front. Behind behind them though, a big chase going on and the merging of different groups. This is the main peloton. Caregui of Spain is there at the back. Also at the back of the peloton is Mendez of Bolivia. He's doing a good ride today. But in that chasing group of riders, some real strength. Oh, Van der Merwe, he's either decided to wait and just have a little bit of a rest, cleverly, or he's starting to suffer. Push the Barry at the back here, number 26. Giacomo Rosato there in the blue jersey. Number 102 we just saw there is the South African rider Josh Johnson. Australia have still got some riders in here. Lucas Stevenson is still there for Australia. Van der Merwe, I think, has come to the end of his time in the league. Now what he needs to do is just see whether he can recover. Looks like Van der Merwe might be cramping up. Johan Blanc at the back here for France. Johan Blanc was quite dynamic earlier on in the race, looking to try and get across to the leaders at one point. Now he's sitting on the back. Maybe he's had to just give himself a little bit of recovery time. Look from the back of the race, gives you an idea of the rise up towards Kigali Golf again and the little group of riders going away. This is a sense of what you see if you're at the back of the peloton. Stanacchio is at the back for Italy. Still, this rider pursues the gold at the front, Beckham Drake. Still riding as though he thinks, okay, I'm still here, you come up to me. I'm not going to wait for you. Every time he comes into this corner, though, he takes a very different line to what you might expect. We really are ticking through the kilometres now. We'll get to the main part of Kigali Golf very soon. Run into it, the greenery on the left-hand side, and the buildings to the rider's left-hand side. It feels quite intense as far as the heat is around here. The rider from Poland out. We've still got a representative. Cars. Salvador Cars who's out. He's abandoned. Continue like this. 24 degrees now, so since we started the temperature has increased by 3 degrees. This Italian rider just sitting in the wheels now, not prepared to do any work. He's done a fair amount of chasing. World champion. He's very, very strong. Where's number one? Because Lorenzo Finn was the winner last year, and Italy get number one this time. But it doesn't mean that this rider doesn't deserve it. He definitely does. He's an incredible bike rider so far. Just checking over his shoulder. Seems cool, calm and collected. No main worries. This peloton feel like they've got everything under control right now. Moves off the front. Back in time trial mode. You can see the little touches on that skin suit to give him as aerodynamic a skin suit as possible. The little panels that are thoughtfully created to create the turbulence and the air across the back. On a smooth lycra on the back, more ribbed on the shoulders and down the sides. So much testing goes into these skin suits now. Still in here. Mexico are still represented in this group. Cisneros. Sitting on the back of the group is Edward of Belgium. But every time that this rider looks like he might get caught, he just continues and then ups the tempo even more and starts to open up a bigger gap. We can see there, Capello, he's done a lot of work today, Roberto Capello. Roberto Capello, the Italian rider, 18 years of age, rides for the Grenka Auto Ada squad, which is linked with Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe in many ways. Sixth in the individual time trial, Capello. Drake leading it over into that turn. Again, when we look through the Palmares, the list of wins of these riders, so many of them have got some great results and won a lot of bike races already this season. Going to Kigali Golf, we're going to reach the top of this climb at 36.1 kilometres. Drake, just taking a little look at the blackboards, and for those of you who've never watched a bike race before, this is the way that the riders, if they don't have race radios, the gaps are communicated, and basically that bike will take information from Radio Tour that we can hear, but they'll also do their own time checks. They'll stop, they'll literally use a stopwatch and see the rider go past, let the peloton go past, and they'll work their way up and they'll show, oh, has now got another technical problem. That's a shame for him, and Fasal has got the same. Fasal comes to a standstill. Looks like cramp for him. Dylan Sage is about to be dropped as well for Great Britain. Just in front of him, Zeno Winter, who's been quite animated in this race. He's now dropped as Beckham Drake is about to get some company on Kigali Golf. The German rider making his way across. It originally was Zeno Winter who was doing most of the work. This looks to me like it might be Herzog. Suddenly the Netherlands are involved in the action as well. We haven't mentioned the Netherlands at all today. The breakaway is over. The race is together with 36 kilometres to go. Big attack right hand side of the road. Looks like Matthew Peace goes again for Great Britain. Hudson has just gone on the attack. Another big move as Great Britain try to be in the ascendancy now. .5% gradient, big acceleration. So here's Harry Hudson, who's gone on the attack. Harry Hudson looking good here as he goes away. Radio Tour that Ashland Barry has been dropped. Harry Hudson comes from Yorkshire. Rides for the Yorkshire team. This rider looking for a bottle, needs something. Gets one from the Soignier at the side of the road, gets rid of the gel, doesn't want it. British Gravel Championships in the junior race. He won a stage of Cantabria. He was second in the junior race of South Wales on a stage as well. He's had a very busy season. Won a race in France as well in the All-Out. Good climber. Going out the back now, his teammate with that momentum. This is Dylan Sage. In fact, as he coming back, he was dropped on the last climb. It's been one of those days, Dylan Sage, isn't he? Sage just losing meters here and there. Winter has got himself back into the group. Also in there is TUKWAMAMARIZA. Harry Hudson, through that little narrow section, gets himself into his best position he can. Very multicoloured bike he rides. Rides for the Harrogate Nova race team. So now the Netherlands are represented at the front of this group. Spain also things calm. Looks like we've got the swelling of numbers. Eritrea still in here. Still in with a chance of the medal. And Ashton Barry, having been dropped, is now back in the group of riders with things having calmed down over that little point where Hudson went on the move. 16 seconds, only 33 kilometres to go. Cyclocross rider Harry Hudson, as we mentioned about the gravel race, he's the British cyclocross champion. Downhill at 54 kilometres an hour. Some good speed going. Today to the women's under-23 race yesterday. Yesterday it was all about peloton and riders going out the back. This time we've seen a much more attacking race with that group of riders being off the front. Namibia are also represented with Roger Surin in this group of riders. Nations have got some good representation. Namibia in here, Eritrea, South Africa, Mauritius, all in this front group, or this chasing group of peloton. Onto the cobbles for another time. This is Kimahurura. We've got used to this climb. For a paint job on a bike. Likes a bit of stripes and squares, doesn't it? Harrogate Nova race team, a group of junior riders. 6 of them in the squads. Predominantly in the Great Britain programme. They've got some great guidance, haven't they, now, with the likes of, you look around their coaches, and they've got Matt Brammer, who was a pro rider in the World Tour, Chris Newton. And you look back and they've got Swan Years, who you know have been ex-bike riders as well. There's got a great setup. On the back of the group, Dylan Sage has fought his way back. The Australian rider there, number 40, Max Gould. We've seen him attacking today. Austria with Hettiger is still there. Ashton Barry in a bad moment a little while ago, but he's there. Rosato there for Italy. Also on the right-hand side is Beckham Drake. Can he stick in there and stay in the move? Great Britain have also got Max Hines, number 33. And just dropping now is TUKWAMAMARIZA. And suddenly these cobbles and this course and this altitude just hit you on the head and tell you to just sit up. It's such a hard course. Hudson, no, he's making short work of those cobbles. Building his advantage, 36 seconds. He's got that kind of urgent style. This is quite high on his bike, doesn't he? very effective. Maybe not the most aerodynamic style you're going to see, but when it comes to sitting on these cobbles and just forcing the pace, it does look good. Some accelerations. Italy again using this top of the cobbles to be a place where it's good to just try and bring the gap back, and they make their acceleration, and each time they tend to use Capello to be the rider to just bring things back again. Still got many riders up there. Last time an Italian won this championship was last year, of course, with Lorenzo Finn, and before that it was Diego Ulisi in 2007. Italy have always ridden well in this championship, having won the very first one. Martinelli has also taken a silver medal, Rastelli has taken a silver, Gazzoli has taken a bronze. Now Germany start to move pretty rapidly. Neil Herzog of Germany was the winner in 2022. Big acceleration now at the front. Germany trying to get into the ascendancy. This does look like Herzog. Well, Herzog was the winner, of course, before. That was his brother. Just trying to go away and catch Harry Hudson at the front. Group of riders splitting off the front of the peloton now. What a decimated peloton we've had. 141 riders started this race. 2 laps of racing to go. Harry Hudson goes through with an average speed of 40.762, so the average speed is accelerated again. Here's the peloton. Belgium look like they're not prepared to do any more work at the front of the race. Great Britain are blocking it as well. They're quite happy with Great Britain being up the road. Hudson now 45 seconds. Herzog caught by the peloton on the run up there. More counter-attacks. Right on the back of the group for the Netherlands is Michael Maurice. Just sat there. So now we have a total of 35 riders in contention. Oh, and a crash in the feed. This looks like Hincapie. No, it's Braden Wright actually who's hit the deck here. Braden Wright hits the deck quite heavily. Gets himself going now. Looks like he needs a bike change, he says. Right, he's been riding really well in this race. but riders are getting tired now, and in the field there's always more issues. So the race situation, if you're just joining us now, at the front is Harry Hudson. He has an advantage of 45 seconds. This is the moment of that crash. Just trying to grab a bottle. It's chaos. Ice, gels, bottles, bike riders. So our average speeds of the race hasn't relented much at all throughout the entire morning. We're at 10:15, and this young rider is growing his leads. This is on some of these riders. They know they're in an absolute battle for this world title, and whoever wins this is a very well-deserved victor. Italy up the tempo again. Riders sprinting to try and get in the wheels, get in the slipstream, be involved in the action. Germany go through to the front, the Netherlands also there. Netherlands suddenly have got two riders in the right move. Sweden are represented in that move as well. This is Harry Hudson, 39 seconds. Shoulders left and right. 19.3 kilometres this race today. Not the longest junior world road race we've seen, but it's not about the distance, it's about the quality of the performance of these riders, because on this circuit, averaging over 40 kilometres an hour, nearly 41, is pretty exceptional. And they have ridden this race since every lap is the last. Screen on the right, this is where we are as we progress our way towards Kigali Gold for the penultimate time. Let's just run through some of the riders who are still in this peloton now, just to give you an idea of the sort of representation. Herzog of Germany, his brother's won this title before. Benjamin Noval is there. Seth van Kerkhover, the Belgian rider who won a medal the other day. Also in here, Agostinato of Italy, Max Gould of Australia still there, Jakovic of Poland is there, Gies Schoenvelder of the Netherlands, Cisneros of Mexico is still there, Josh Johnson of South Africa still there, Costa Rica still at Castro in that group of riders, Mikel Maurice, Nahom Ephraim of Eritrea is still in that main group of riders. 35 riders in contention. The Namibian Roger Surin leads a group at 105. But it's down to this front group of riders as to who's going to win this title. America have got Ashton Barry, Beckham Drake and Braden Rice if he gets back in. Canada have got Ben Moran. France are still represented with Johan Blanc, Son Rouge, so there's still many representatives of different nations. Max Gould, I think, is the solo. No, Lucas Stevenson is also there for Australia, so they've got two riders in there too, and they're staying calm and staying out of trouble, which is potentially the right thing to do with so much going on. The final 25 kilometres of this junior men's road race, and still we don't know who's going to take the victory. We're starting to see nations we haven't mentioned. too much up at the front of the race. Still many riders sitting in the group. Italy now starting to cause some problems. Another rider trying to go away. Looks like Dan Dinkman of the Netherlands at the front. Dinkman, 17 years of age. This gap is coming down very, very quickly despite the efforts of Harry Hudson, but he's doing a good job for his team. Bearing in mind he's still got two other riders in there. So Great Britain don't have to chase. Max Hines doesn't have to do anything. Dylan Sage, I think he's on a bit of his last legs, but you just never know, do you? But Hines has had a good race so far. So Dijkman is there, and it's Agostinaggio who is on the move. Next line's of Great Britain who's sitting in here. He's a member of the Fensham House team, which is the team, feeder teams for some of the pro teams. They've always got very good junior riders. Heading our way then towards this climb for the penultimate time. It feels like the roads are fast and flat this section, but they're not. You start to really feel the gradient. We get to the bottom of Kigali Golf. 21.8 kilometres of racing to go. A long thread of riders rearing behind. Ashley Barry is the American rider in that yellow helmet. He's been suffering, but now he goes to the front again. Riders are kind of ebbing and flowing in how they feel during this race. Barry decides it's time to go. Checks over his shoulder, flicks the elbow. Only 16 seconds is the gap. Barry, who, as you can see from that yellow helmet, in the Visma Lisa bike development team. Suddenly everybody looks at each other again. Big attack from France. Johan Blanc tries to go. Squeeze of that pressure on the legs, you could see it was hurting. Harry Hudson continues with his effort at the front. He looks around, checks over his shoulder, slightly downhill here, and he realises that this peloton is coming quick. Has a little micro rest, lets the legs just turn over a little bit. So Johan Blanc on the attack, on the move again for France as he wants to try and get across to Hudson. Two more riders going. One of them looks like the South African in the green colours. Hudson trying to get himself to the top of Kigali Golf for the penultimate time. He'll reach the top with 21 kilometres to go. Stretch in this race. Josh Johnson trying to come across, but looks like the legs are really faltering now, having made his move. Johan Blanc has always been in the structure of the Groupama FDJ squad. Over his shoulder. A number of different nations are represented. Spain are there on the left-hand side. points including the two Americans, Ashlyn Barry and Beckham Drake. They are dropped from that group of riders as we make our way up Kigali Golf. It's not the first time Ashlyn Barry's been dropped though, he's come back a number of times. Harry Hudson checked over his shoulder. Feels like he's still got good legs, and if he can get riders to come across, then it would be a good move for him. Who do you think's going to win? Last time round we had 35 riders in contention for this race. If you'd like to let us know at UCI_cycling at Amacrossen who's going to take the victory. What do you think of the race? For me, what an attritional race. We were promised this. Maybe we thought that we'd just have a peloton racing and then riders going out the back. That has not been the case today. It has been all about the dynamicism of the likes of the USA, of Great Britain and others. The moves of the Bulgarian rider, Nicholas van der Merwe. He just rode such a great race until he got cramped. The moves of the Swiss rider earlier on in today's race as he went away so early to try and build his advantage. So many nations try to win this title, and yet we still don't know who is going to be ultimately the person who takes it. We've seen Loic certainly on the attack. We've seen moves of different nations. We've seen the Poles try to go. South Africa, Josh Johnson just tried to attack. Beckham Drake was the main animator of this race. Maybe went a little bit too early. But we're coming up now to the sound that the riders will have wanted to hear, and we're going to hear the bell very soon in this race. Hudson still in the lead by 17 seconds. Are we going to see some big shifts over the top of the cobbles this time? Just in the gap. Well, it's Capello who's on the move now, and Kubias of Spain. These two riders joining up together to try and go away and get to the leader. This could be good news for Hudson. Fellow in that blue jersey of Italy. He's been very strong today. He's looked good. Peloton now at 31 seconds. The gap grows a little bit. Conversation between the Spaniard and the Italian. They'll kind of understand each other. Just checking the shoes, ready for the cobbles. He's still obviously very coherent and focused on the job in hand. Even when the gap drops significantly, he has refused to give in. Hear the wind whistling through the camera mic at the moment as we go very fast downhill. Capello, Kubias at the back. Javier Kubias comes from Villarreal in Spain, 18 years of age. He's won a few races this season as well. Predominantly been racing the last couple of months in Spain. But he also rode this year in Belgium, in France. He rode Paris-Roubaix Junior and other races. For the back Movistar team, Harry Hudson for the penultimate time is onto the cobbles. This is Chimera. There's the gradient on the right. If you've just joined us now for the very first time, this is the cobble climb that features in all of the races. It is an absolute bone shaker. Tobias trying to get across to the British rider. Capello just sitting a couple of lengths behind. And we can almost see the British rider just in front of them now. By the Dave Rayner Fund, which is a well-known foundation in the UK. It was named after Dave Rayner, a former professional bike rider who was killed in an incident in a nightclub in Yorkshire one night in the winter season. And his family decided that rather than just sit back, they decided to set up a foundation called the Rayner Fund, where it's now known as the Rayner Foundation, where they tried to fund young riders' dreams of making their way to Europe to become professional bike riders. And they have funded so many bike riders, the likes of Adam Yates, Dan Martin, Harry Hudson is one of the current ones. It's incredible how many riders they've helped. That little bit of funding that made the difference between continuing their dream or coming home. That's the difference the Rayner Fund has made. The Italian Nagasanakio has been dropped. So as Harry Hudson continues as the alumni of the Dave Rayner Fund, other riders include David Miller, Charlie Wagalius, Matt Brameyer, who's the coach here of the Great Britain team, Nicky Brameyer, of course one of the top cyclocross riders in the world, Dan Lloyd, and many others. Harry Hudson continues to push. He's going to come to the top of the cobbles, still with a lead intact, and he's growing it on this peloton. 39-40 seconds. The French team have decided they need to do something about this. So it's Hudson ahead of Kubias and Capello. The peloton in the background. It's just a question of who has the legs, who has something left that can try and win this title. It needs a team to throw everything at this who are not represented in the front. The likes of France, the likes of the Netherlands, Germany. But there's also not many riders left with multiple riders. Now we get Australia starting to up the pace. They, I think, have got 2 riders left in here. Eritrea have 1 rider still in the mix. So Australia starting to up the move and bring this race back together if they possibly can. They've decided that it's time. 45 seconds to the peloton. Kilometre to go until we get the bell. First run in 1975. This next edition of this World Championship Junior Road Race is coming to its conclusion. This is our solo leader. He's had a wonderful ride today. Harry Hudson of Great Britain, as he checks over his shoulder. There is nobody there yet. That's going to give him renewed energy after 2.5 hours of racing across this incredible course. The last lap, the bell goes. Hudson is the solo leader. The chasers, let's see what the gap is going to be to them. Capello and his compatriot Kubias in this breakaway. Behind them, the peloton is firing. Hudson is going to have a gap of what, maybe 30 seconds, maybe a little bit more. His average speed has not changed. 40.792. He's actually up the average speed on that lap. One lap of racing to go for the duo who chase. 34 seconds. The peloton is now coming across the line at 40. It's still anybody's race. Going across the line in the front, Johan Blanc, Benjamin Noval, Matthew Pearce, Jan Jakovic, Carl Herzog is still there, Max Hines. Also near the front for Australia, Max Gould and Lucas Stevenson. Ashton Barry has fought his way back into the peloton. Dan Dijkman of the Netherlands, Nahom Ephraim of Eritrea. Also in there is Calderon. Dylan Sage is still there. He's got himself back in and just dropped his Mikael Maurice, the Dutchman. 28 riders now fighting for these World Championship medals. So all that remains is the terrain that includes Kigali Golf and Kimi Herrera for the final time. The faces on the peloton show that this race has been so tough. Speed of that lap, 41 kilometers an hour. He's picked up the average speed to 40.792. Harry Hudson, 28 seconds, still with this urgent style. Rocking and rolling a little bit, just checks across. 50 kilometers an hour he's almost at as he tries to get every last little bit of juice out of those legs. This is full commitment. He's got 13 kilometers of riding to win this world title. And behind him, the two chasers look to me like they are losing heart and losing motivation. They don't have the same urgency. They don't have the same push that they had before. Capello goes back through to the front. The peloton is lined out. There are little groups of riders firing off the front. World Championship, Great Britain have only won a silver medal in the entire history of the event. It was Sebastian Grimley last year. So since 1975, Great Britain have not produced a winner, and they've only had one rider on the podium. This rider is pushing and pushing hard. 43 seconds, riding like his life depends on it right now. Hudson is out the saddle again. Junior National Hill Climb champion as well, Harry Hudson. Comes from Sheffield in the UK, in the north of England. Can this rider bring this home? Well, right now he's got 43 seconds. Did his exams, he's been in France pretty much. He rode Cantabria in Spain. This rider some big junior races. He rode very well in France in Valrome, which is like, some people liken it to a junior Tour de France. Seconds. This rider has won races solo before. There's a very well-known race in the UK called the Sequel Classic, which is an on and off road event where you ride kind of unmade roads, a little bit like Trobro-Leon or Paris Tour, and he soloed that 40 kilometers and won it. This rider has been known to do this before. He's a tough bike rider. If you know the terrain around Sheffield, you have to be a tough bike rider. 10.2 kilometers to go. Harry Hudson is still on his own. 18 seconds to the chasers. 45 seconds to the peloton now. And this British youngster right now is almost at the base of the final climb, the final climbs of the day. 6.7 kilometers, he reaches Kigali Golf. You can see he's tired, you can see how much effort he's putting in. The bike is moving around, the shoulders are moving around, but he still has great momentum. He broke away. Wow, it was a long time out, wasn't it? What, 35 kilometers to go, I suppose, maybe even further Hudson went. But right now, the peloton need to start to worry. Hudson still with 24 seconds on these chasers. Kilometers he went away, Hudson. Seconds, 46 to the peloton. He's a good climber, and that could help him, as we know, on these final rises. It's been an incredible effort. He's still got teammates behind him who are still in the peloton, and they could start to block and cause problems for everybody else. I'm sure his Harrogate Nova Club are absolutely going wild right now. This rider is still solo. The peloton we haven't seen for a little while are at 39 seconds. Now we get a bit more urgency from Capello and the Spanish rider who's with him, Cubillas. They lean it into the right-hander, 19 seconds to move that motorbike to the back of that chase, because it shouldn't be in the front, because it's helping that chase way too much. 18 seconds. And for sure this motorbike needs to be behind these two riders. Should not be at the front in a chase like this in a World Championship. 31 seconds to a long stretched peloton now. They look over their shoulders. And now there is an acceleration from behind. 7.5 kilometers of racing to go. So he's almost now at the bottom of Kigali Golf with a lead of 30 seconds. But you can lose a minute on the final climb. Another big attack from one rider behind. I'm just seeing coming round that corner. It looks to me like more of the Spanish riders getting interested. Chasers at 18, 19, 7 kilometres to go. Hudson gets a little micro rest, just wipes his eyes a little, wipes some sweat off him, eases himself into the next turn. He's at the bottom of Kigali Golf for the final time in this World Championship. Hudson now needs to give this full acceleration, full gas, and go the fastest he's ever been up here. 14% at the bottom, and he makes short work of it. This is a magnificent effort from this young British rider to try and give them their first ever gold medal in the Junior World Championships for men. 18 seconds to the chasers. And here come the peloton. And the peloton is led now by Ashlyn Barry. Behind, Spain are now represented. Benjamin Noval is trying to come across. So Noval attacks and attacks hard, comes up to his teammate, and now we're starting to see some moves. So it is Noval and Herzog who make the move. Noval, one of the race favourites. 10% the gradient, he's making Herzog work hard. Is this gap right? 18 seconds. France are represented. It's getting tight in here for everybody, isn't it? They swing across the road. Only 6 kilometres remain, and Noval is ripping his way up this climb. Getting rid of everybody, and now there's only 2 Spanish riders left behind. It is Kubias and his teammate. And one French rider coming across now, and that looks like Johan Blanc. They flick the elbow. 180 metres to go to the top of the climb. Is this the move? Over the top of the climb for Hudson. Now he needs to really fire his way down this next section to the cobbles. He'll reach the bottom of the cobbles at 2.4 kilometres to go. Gets a bottle, pours it over his neck, tries to cool himself down. That's the final bottle of the day. Now he needs to concentrate. Now he needs to give himself every single opportunity. The 2 Spanish riders, are they going to work together or are they not? Noval asks Kubias, help me out here. And this motorbike definitely should be behind these riders. Kubias and Noval with Johan Blanc. 15 seconds now. Kubias. Noval's asked Kubias, I think, if he can just empty the tank and give him as much as he can. Noval goes through. Johan Blanc is in the wheel. 13 seconds, we're being told, is the gap. Noval accelerates again. He wants this gold medal at 16 years of age. They go through and past the Swan years again for the final time. Noval is getting animated and getting annoyed. Wants Blanc to ride, but Blanc has been attacking all day today. So the race situation now, Harry Hudson, behind him is Kubias, Noval of Spain, and Johan Blanc of France. 2.5 kilometres to the bottom of the cobbles as Noval attacks solo now. 30 seconds to the peloton. Noval really ramps it up now. Benjamin Noval going for glory. Johan Blanc trying to give France something here. We're not far from the cobbles. 3.2 kilometers to go to the final climb. And Johan Blanc right on the back. Noval looks around. Are these two riders going to ride together? Harry Hudson is still solo. 15 seconds is the gap. This is what we'll call the peloton. All that's left. Italy are represented. Eritrea are represented. Is someone going to give this full gas over the top of the final climb and clinch this gold medal from nowhere? So the race situation, Hudson leads from Noval, from Blanc. Kubias is in the gap and then a group of 14 riders behind. The peloton is at 30. Hudson has refused to relent since he went on the attack. He's got 3.5 kilometers. Most of it is a very painful uphill. Oh, and Noval crashes. Benjamin Noval hits the deck. Game over. Oh, the dreams of gold have gone. What an end to this race. Hudson now 600 meters from the cobbles and the final test. The final test of this race. I cannot believe that Benjamin Noval has hit the deck. An incredible end to this World Championship road race. Noval looked like he was the rider who may well be able to carry himself across to the cobbles and take Harry Hudson's lead back. Hudson turns left, he'll look, he'll start to feel any moment now the rumble of the cobbles, and all he will have to do is keep the power and keep the momentum. We don't know what the time gap is right now. Has he got the legs to carry himself to this final tarmac section and then the run up to the top? 10 seconds now for Hudson. This gap is diminishing quickly to Johan Blanc of France. 30 seconds now to the peloton. Can Johan Blanc of France close the gap on this British rider? Hudson has been on the attack now for 34 kilometers. There is Johan Blanc. This rider has been superb today as well. You have to admire the way he's taken this race on. We've seen him on the move many times. He sees Hudson in front of him. He's got someone to chase. Hudson checks over his shoulder. 1,000 meters now to go to the top of the cobbles, and it's a battle royal between France and between Great Britain. Hudson, the shoulders, left, right, every single pedal rev counts now for both these riders. The peloton is drifting away. Blanc cannot close this gap yet. It's still 40. He turns around to see where everybody is. Kubias is at 27 seconds and Hudson is still pushing on. One more rider trying to come across behind Blanc, and it looks to me like it is the Polish rider in the background, Jan Jakowiak. Can he get himself there? He is the rider in the ascendancy now behind. 800 meters to the top of the cobbles. Harry Hudson from Sheffield in Great Britain must be on his absolute limit right now. Behind is Blanc, then it is the Polish rider, Jan Jakowiak. He is coming across. This has been an exceptional bike race. Johan Blanc is in all sorts of pain. Hudson believes. He's still got 16 seconds on Blanc. He has 25 seconds on Jakowiak. 1.5 kilometers remain. You can lose 30 seconds on the final rise. The Polish rider comes across now to the wheel of Johan Blanc. The 17-year-old Polish rider who's been sick until the lead into this race. Hudson, there he is in front. Jakovic is giving this everything he can. Jakowiak is almost there. Blanc hanging on for dear life. Hudson doing the same. Only 200 metres now to go until Hudson gets some respite from the awful, painful cobbles that are on this final rise to the finish. Jakowiak of Poland in the background. Hudson turns left. He will see 1,000 metres to go. Jakowiak of Poland is the rider who's got the strength and has got the drive. Johan Blanc in second wheel is still hanging on. His fingernails are almost letting go of the cliff edge. 800 metres now to go. Belgium get ready. Eritrea get ready as well. Is this going to come back together? Harry Hudson, 10 seconds now for this British rider. No British rider has ever won the Junior World Men's Road Race Championship. This rider needs to sprint and sprint flat out because the chase is coming behind. He's got this awful, brutal, leg-sapping final rise to the finish line here in Kigali. Can he do it? He attacked with 36 kilometres to go, and he can see the 300 metres to go point. This Sheffield youngster may well bring this ride home. He checks one more time. He's still got the advantage through the heat haze here in Kigali. It has been a brutal bike race, but this rider looks like he is going to solo to an incredible victory. Harry Hudson of Great Britain now feels a bit of respite, the final rise, and now he believes because he checks. He's been so close to being caught in the last 36 kilometres. He sits up, he celebrates. What a way to win a world title. 36 kilometres solo in Kigali. Harry Hudson is world champion. Jakowiak of Poland is looking for the silver medal, but it's going to be France with Johan Blanc. Blanc takes the silver, Jakowiak takes the bronze. What a day this has been. Great Britain take fourth place, and they celebrate. Max Heinz takes fourth. Special. When you see a rider who's got riders 10 seconds behind him and yet he still refuses to give in. What a performance.
Unbelievable, Harry.
Well, the British coaches saying it was unbelievable. It was, because this rider has ridden solo 36 kilometres. What a finish. This is the moment when he went. He just looked and he believed and he went solo. And he's done this in races before. His famous, his favourite attack seems to be around 40 kilometres out. Absolutely amazing. within 30 seconds. Harry Hudson wins it by 16 seconds from Johan Blok, with Jan Jakovic of Poland in third. Great Britain get first, fourth and fifth. Well, here's the result of the men's junior road race. Harry Hudson wins in 2 hours 55 minutes ahead of the Frenchman Johan Blok, with Jan Jakovic of Poland in third. Great Britain take fourth and fifth with Hines and Peace, Belgium in sixth. Then it was the top 10 made up of the rest of those riders you can see. Speed of that ride, 40.829 kilometres an hour. Well, we wait to hear from Harry Hudson now as he makes his way to the podium. I think everybody, no matter what nationality they are marvelling at the way that this youngster won that bike race. Where Harry Hudson went away on Kigali Golf Climb and solos to the win. Even then, look, behind him, the riders were still coming. There were moments where the gap had dropped right down to 14, 15 seconds, and yet he still refused to let them come back. That was an exceptional performance, absolutely exceptional.
Harry Hudson, you're world champion, junior world champion. Can you first of all believe it?
Probably still setting in. I don't really know what's happening. Yeah, I don't know.
Because you took off from really far away. Was that planned, first of all?
No, I just saw in the moment that people were sitting up, and it had been quite hard at that climb, so I just went, thought something to go, and I just settled in and decided to see where it would go. I thought I was going to get caught with like a lap to go or something, because there were people quite close, and then it just ended up staying away. And yeah, I was really suffering on the final climb. I think it was a French guy behind, but yeah, I just managed to stay away.
When did you actually feel that you were going to win it?
About just after the cobbles, I realised, or maybe flapping the cobbles, I realised that the French person was dropping back, and I was looking like I was going to the line.
Look at the list of junior world champions before you, the likes of MWIREBERE and many others. To win this title, to win it in Africa must mean a lot.
Yeah, in Africa it's crazy. First one in Africa, but yeah, just winning a world title is amazing. So, yeah, I don't really know what to say.
What do you hope for your future?
Making cycling a career, we'll see where it goes. Yeah, I don't know. Just riding a bike. That's what I do.
Enjoy it and enjoy that podium. Thank you very much, Harry. Thanks a lot.
Well, there's someone special from Great Britain to cheer him here. British was watching in his hotel room, and he said, and I won't repeat quite what he said, I have to get there. So he walked across to just see this young British rider win the world title. And look at Cav's reaction. He knows just what a ride that was. 36 kilometres solo at 1,500 metres of altitude over those climbs with the best juniors in the world chasing you. That is something special. And as he said, oh, I'd like to make bike racing a career. I'll tell you, the agents who are around here right now, if he's not signed to an agent, will be queuing up to sign this youngster, because what he's just done on a bike here in Kigali is something exceptional. We wait for the podium presentation now.